Welsh Pony. Dear reader, thank you for buying this book. It's a special edition one as Welsh Pony is still undergoing restoration. But I just couldn't wait to get this story out to you. The next printed edition will of course include a launch, I'm sure. A special thanks to all those who have supported the restoration of this very special engine. Very best wishes, Pauline. Long before steam engines, people would climb the mountains of Wales with ponies and wagons to get the slates. It was hard work, so they set down a track for the horses to pull the empty wagons to the top. Then down went the wagons filled with slates. Down went the horses in a dandy carriage filled with hay. Down they whizzed by gravity all the way to the ships waiting at the port. 1864. Time went by and more slate was needed. Mr. Spooner, the new manager, ordered 4 small steam engines from Mr. England's factory in Surrey. Prince, Princess, Mountaineer, and Palmerston soon arrived. "Time for us to take a break," neighed the horses. But the engines were too small and ran out of water too often. "I need larger engines," said Mr. Spooner. "I'll see what I can do," said Mr. England. 1867. 2 new engines arrived. They were big England engines with bigger water tanks. The horses neighed. "Can you pull our wagons?" "Yes, we can," cried the engines. "Well," said Mr. Spooner, "you shall be Little Giant and Welsh Pony." But there was more and more work, and the engines started pulling carriages full of people too. Before long, Welsh Pony was shoving far too much, wearily up the slopes. 1870. "Never mind," said Mr. England. "My son-in-law, Mr. Fairley, has made a clever new engine." It soon arrived. "Hello," said Little Wonder, the new engine. "Hello," echoed the other end. "We have 2 ends," said one end. "2 ends," echoed the other end again. "We can go backwards and forwards without turning," they shouted together as they chuffed away. "Wow, 2 chimneys, 2 smoke boxes, 2 of everything," said Welsh Pony. Up and down chuffed the Fairley engine. "And we have bogies too," they shouted smugly as they sped off. "What does that mean?" said Welsh Pony to the Little Giant. They could see that the front wheels twisted and turned with every curve in the track, so that the new engine could go round bends easily. 1871. Important people came from all over the world to see the new engine. There was a grand trial. Little Wonder was much stronger and faster and could pull twice as much as the other engines. "Thank you for having this grand trial," said Mr. Fairley to Mr. Spooner. "You may copy my engine." 1873. So Mr. Spooner had some even better Fairley engines, but with bogies to go up the mountain. With Welsh Pony and Little Giant, and the smaller England engine shunted wagons at the end of the line. 1882. Now, although Little Wonder was faster and stronger than the others, after a while His wheels started to wobble, his bogies cracked, and his firebox wore thin. But no matter how much they patched him, more cracks appeared. "I'm afraid there's nothing more that we could do," said Mr. Spooner. "You'll have to go." Soon only his bell was left. Now up and down the mountain went the engines, pulling 100 wagons full of slates 9 times a day. Welsh Pony creaked and his boiler rumbled. "I'm wearing out," he groaned. "Is it time for me to go too?" "No," said Mr. Spooner. "We can sort you out." And so they did, and they gave him 2 whistles. 1884. "Hold on tight, toot toot," he called out. "Stay clear of the track, toot toot," he cried. 1891. "Don't throw stones," he yelled. 1895. He was taken to Boston Lodge and given a full cab, and he carried on. He was given a new smoke box, and he carried on. He even fell off the tracks, but they fixed him up, and he carried on. 1915. One day all the men left to go to war. The engines stopped working, and Boston Lodge was filled with ladies making bombs. 1939. When the men returned, the engines went back to work. They borrowed and swapped each other's rusty parts to get the work done. As time went by, less and less slate was needed, and soon the engines were put in a shed with nothing to do. 1985. People missed the railway, and many years later it started work again. Welsh Pony was excited. "Oh no, you're too worn out to work," said the new station manager. So the little engine was painted red and put on a plinth at the harbour. 2005. Everyone loved him, but as he became ever more rusty, back to Boston Lodge he had to go. "We'll make everyone notice you for our gala," they said. A good while later there was another gala, and this time he was painted green again. "You need new frames," tutted Prince. "Maybe a cylinder or 2, added Princess. "On the boiler," chided Palmerston. "Well, everyone wants you back. I think it's time to sort you out," said the station manager. It was finally Welsh Pony's turn to be restored. So many people were happy to join in. "Thank you so much," he cried as they started to help to restore the very last big England engine. "All the road's ready, Arnold." "Great job, Bob." "Good work on the frames, James." "What's the cab like, Mike?" Look out for the launch of this loco and the revised edition with a restored Welsh Pony.